Steph, this has been an amazing adventure, not just the last 3.5 years we've been dating and the last 6.5 years we've known each other as friends, or even the last 10 years that we've been on our journeys to get us to where we are, but just the last 18 freaking hours have been crazy, and the last 2 days have been unbelievable. But if I'm gonna go through this kind of turbulence with anyone, I'm glad that it's you who's by my side. I love you.
We're here today for a small but simple celebration. To give you all context, we first must go back to a time before time and a place that was nowhere and yet everywhere. Once upon a time, about 13.8 billion years ago, there was a big bang. Congratulations. Rising from the explosion of the unknown and unknowable, everything that has ever existed and will ever exist in our universe appeared in a zero-dimensional singularity which has been expanding ever since. Space and time came to exist within the tiniest fraction of a second, within the entire universe starting about the size of a grapefruit. At this point, the four fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear forces differentiate from each other, laying the foundation for a universe. Within seconds, the fundamental particles we continue to discover even today developed. Within minutes, particles begin combining to form the nuclei of atoms. The lightest elements of the periodic table form first. It takes another 300,000 years for nuclei formed in minutes to combine into the atoms of these early lightweight elements. During these early millennia, light itself is absent from the universe, similarly to those who would voice objections to this marriage are absent from this proceeding. As the universe continues to expand and cool over the next 100 million years, gravity, dark matter, and dark energy push and pull atoms slowly across great distances as they coalesce into the stars and galaxies we see as ancient even today. Some of these stars may still be burning, but many others spent their fuel and collapsed into a brilliant supernova, spreading heavier elements across the galaxy, cooked inside of them carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, and all the other building blocks of galaxies deeper into the void. Over the last billion years, our galaxy pulled itself together into a thin disk as the solar system formed. The spinning disks began to pull the heavy elements that the supernova had spread across into planets as we now know them. As layer upon layer covered these planets, the pressures on them superheat the individual elements into magma and push it into the surface, creating the first volcanic activity. The first life comes to Earth, growing, living, and dying. With the advent of sentient life, this time scale becomes more compressed, measured by salient events relevant to our lifestyles. In the grand scale, they are barely noticeable but still relevant. The first organisms of the world have been long dead, and their grandchildren's grandchildren have been compressed down to hydrocarbon. As the magma slowly cools, individual metals cluster together under the surface layers of the present, setting the stage for sentient life. The emergence of sentient life draws the stories into smaller chapters. The controlled use of fire becomes prevalent 1.5 million to 230,000 years ago. Groups of hunter-gatherers form larger and larger groups. Some decide to settle in one place and fixed agriculture begins. Tools become more specialized. Music, singing, and art emerge. These trends reach a moment of particular note in 1846 when Adolphe Sax uses the metals buried in the earth to invent the saxophone. When Harley-Davidson uses the fossil fuels from creatures eras old to fuel its first motorcycle made in 1903. Batman ever-present and nearly a universal force on his own, makes his first recorded appearance in May of 1939. He may have existed before that. However, as the closest thing to a deity these proceedings will recognize, he decided to appear for the first time at that point. Which brings us all to today. Pulled together not by theoretical forces, but by the bond between the two people in front of us. The connection they feel for each other, which has led them to cement the bond despite any forces that may oppose it. Making vows to each other that will be shared now.
Do I go first? You go first.
Yes, you go first, sorry. I turned it wrong.
Stephanie, we're literally stardust. I wasn't supposed to cry through this part.
It's your wedding cry.
I thank my lucky stars who gave their lives to release the atoms of which you've composed. I love waking up next to you. I love coming home to you. I love sitting next to you on our couch, and I promise to limit the 90s reruns when you're in the same room. I'm grateful to you for so many things. You give me room to grow and be my own person. You encourage me to pursue my every desire with love and compassion. You help me and do more for me than you could possibly imagine. I promise to try not to spill water everywhere or leave stuff in the sink. I promise to keep trying to be a better partner so that every day we grow closer. I promise to practice patience and respect. I promise to be considerate and kind. I vow to apologize when I fail to keep these vows. Strive to do better the next time, because your pain is my pain, and your joy is my joy. I promise not to take our relationship for granted. I vow to do my best to live up to these vows.
Stephanie, I do love you. I love the way you look at me. Your brown eyes, the way you sleep. I love that we are friends and that you put up with me. I love the way you wake. I love the way you make me feel. I do love you.
These vows exchanged, Debbie and Kim have rings to symbolize the vows. Do you, Stephanie Craig Humphrey, accept from Stephanie a ring as a symbol of your bond and a permanent reminder of the vows you're about to enter into?
I do.
Do you, Stephanie McHale, accept from Stephanie a ring as a symbol of your bond and a permanent reminder of the vows you're about to enter into?
I do.
Accepting these vows, having exchanged these rings, and with my internet-facilitated and state-sanctioned ability to legally witness a bond that would exist regardless of any outside force or authority, a bond on par with the power that created this universe, I now pronounce you joined in marriage.
My name is Alex, and I have the honor of honoring Stephanie and Stephanie in front of you wonderful folks. Almost in front of you. I'm almost there. Just imagine a holograph of someone from New Jersey waving in excitement at you. I first met Stephanie around 2007 in New Brunswick, New Jersey, in what feels like a completely different part of the world, in part because it is. We were in college. We were both at and it was awkward for everyone. However, that night we stayed up to talk almost as late as tonight, maybe a little later, and decided that the speed dating event itself was a wash. Our friendship wasn't. Since then, we have seen and shared the worst, best, mediocre, and lovely times together. Stephanie is brave and adventurous, passionate, and has a wonderfully wry sense of humor that'll knock you off your feet as soon as you get in on the joke. I admire her, the woman she is, the friend she's been, and who she is continuously in the process of becoming. She's the start of a beautiful life, and every year thereafter will only continue to expand the joy and delight of it. When we first met, we were both angsty college students struggling to find our way in the world. We supported each other through tremendous change and pain, cried, ate Derby diner fries, talked late into midnight, and maintained a connection while Stephanie has made her journey from New Jersey to California and finally to Hawaii. It's in Hawaii that she's established the deepest roots, made lifelong connections, contributed in countless ways to her community here, and found a place where she made a difference and she was happy. When she told me about Stephanie, the smile in her voice on the phone was palpable miles away. I have this home for the two of you, and though unfortunately you can't see me, I promise, just like Chemistry. Chemistry by Nayiro Waikiki. Chemistry is you touching my arm and it setting fire to my mind. Blood. Please raise your glasses with me, everybody. May you continue to explore, grow, and laugh together. May your love flourish. May you continue to lean on one another through moments of hardship and sweet days. May you never run out of something purple to wear. May we be there to celebrate with you. Stephanie and Stephanie, may you remain steadfast partners in life. I love you. End speech.